Hello friends, I just wanted to give you a quick virtual lesson for what we are going to be doing today since you guys asked to do that. I didn't want to take time away from class, so I wanted to show you on here how you can begin your process of finding some quotes. Hopefully you guys have already done some of this with those questions, but if you've already chosen your topic and thesis, which I think most of you have, now is the time that you want to start finding some good quotes that would fit into this. Now, I did say in here specifically that I want you to have at least 8 quotes from your book, and probably 2 quotes from other sources. So like someone who did their own analysis online. Not like another student, but like a researcher. So let me show you a few ways that you can do this. One of the first things that you can do is just look up the book, which you'll have access to already. Now I have this document here. Now let's say that I'm doing feminism, so I want to look up instances of Curly's wife. Let's say wife. Okay, so I have 32 references to wife. Okay. Curly says he's keeping his hands soft for his wife. Okay. What do you see? Curly's wife. Okay. So what's this Curly picks for a wife? Okay. Curly's new wife. Okay. So those are instances that you can go through here and you can find a quote that matches. So if you do just a control F, and then you can type in keywords. So if you don't know exactly where something is, but you can remember part of the phrase, you can do it that way. If you wanted to look up like lonely, so you could do part of the word. So I got loneliest, so that would open up possibilities for lonely, loneliest. Okay, loneliness. Okay. I seen guys crazy with loneliness for the land, but every time a whorehouse or a blackjack came, it took what it takes. Okay, you could use that for like a Marxist quote. So doing an F, control F, find is what that means, and you can find passages, and I use this function all the time. A second thing that you might do, sometimes you can let other people have done the work for you already. So if I do of mice and men SparkNotes, okay, I have this right here. The nice thing about this is you can scroll through character descriptions. Let me see, symbols, questions and answers. Okay, here's some quotes. You can have explanations of important quotes explained. Okay, so let's see if there's something else good on this one. Not too much. So let's take a look at this. If we wanted to talk about like social classes, this is a good spot for you to find. Let this load for me a second. Okay, someday we're going to get the jack together and we're going to have a little house and a couple of acres of cows and pigs. Okay, so this will list some quotes and then we'll give some explanations. Now, I obviously don't want you to copy these verbatim, but these can help to a certain extent on their importance. And not all of these are going to be pertinent to you or your paper, but that is certainly an option. You can use Cliff Notes. Other important quotes explained. You might get lucky on this one. Sometimes you can use a quote that you can say, you know, this one actually does fit in with feminism, even if it's being explained in a different way. Yeah, so those are great sources for you. Cliff Notes. You can even just type in, if you do a search, okay, of mice and men women quotes. Okay, so you have a whole listing here. These don't list the page numbers because I think they're from different sources. But again, you can copy part of this and do a control find, and then you can put the page number down. So, hopefully that part helps you with finding the quotes. Now, the important thing I want you to do with this is not just put the quote. You need to put the quote here, but I also want you to discuss its significance. Now, as a caveat to this, I don't expect that you put every single one of these quotes in your paper. I would expect that you probably would discuss this list, even if it's not completely all that you're going to end up using. You might end up using more than I'm requiring you to put here. But don't just put a quote and expect it to speak for itself. I want you to discuss its significance, okay? So let me just do a sample of what this might look like. Don't judge my bad typing. There it is. Okay, so let's say that I want to use this gross Vaseline quote. Keep his hands soft for his woman. Okay, so I'd say, okay, I like this quote. Sorry. I don't want to copy just the URL. There we go. I want to remove the hyperlink. Okay, so I have this quote, and let's pretend that I looked it up and it's on page 19. Okay, that's just a reference for you later. Okay, in this, I might look at this quote and say, okay, in this quote, this is one of the few instances that it seems like Curly is doing something for his wife, but in reality, this is a prime example of how Curly is objectifying his wife and sees her, sorry, that was the bell, as an object to take advantage of or possess. Hey, give me 1 second, my man. Sorry. So that would be an example of how you would explain a quote. I would expect that your explanation would be about as long as the quote itself. Okay, so you're going to need to give some thought to this. I don't want it to just be a restatement. So if I was to look at it and say, okay, this is a good example of why Curly puts Vaseline in his glove, that doesn't explain anything. You're just restating what the quote said. So this is a bad example. Okay, I'll put a cross through it just so you know why it is. Yeah, okay. Well, you get the idea. Yep, so that's bad. Okay, so hopefully that helps you a lot. I would like you to also potentially find, if you can today, an original source. I don't think I gave you a great amount of time for that, but that might be something you do today. So that would be kind of the same process, except this time you would say, oh, Schmoot's another one you can use. Sorry about my typing again. Okay, so here's a .org one, so this might be a little bit better. Okay, so let's say that I am reading through this article and I like this quote, okay? So let's say that this is a source that I use. So of Feminism and John Steinbeck of Mice and Men, okay? There's more here. Okay. So if I open this up, okay, let's say that I put this quote. Okay. Now, what I need to do is, you might actually do a URL for this one so you can refer to it later. Okay. Let's see. It looks like you got to sign up. Okay. Well, I do not have an author on this one, but if I decided to log in, I would put more. But what I'm going to do here for now is I will put the title, and you will typically want to do the last name unless you can't find it. But I'm going to put the URL just for my own sake. Okay. And then again, the same thing you want to do here. Okay, I do a summary, or not a summary, but an analysis of why this is important. Okay, I liked this piece, or I thought this was important because of this reason. This doesn't have to go directly in your paper as you write it here, but it will be a help to you. So hopefully this much helps you. You guys will eventually probably want to move these in order of what you think is most important to least important. That will probably come around here. You could go through here and highlight these and say, you know what, these two quotes I think would go really well together in the same paragraph. So I'm going to highlight these in orange, and that will be my point one. Okay. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully that helps. Thank you.